So que show. Ay, ay,会陷入不知道干嘛的困境。你有朋友
Right to work! Right to work! Things are busy enough. You going to waste less of my time?
The hulking man oozes stark skepticism.
We were promised work. We'd be in there, working.
The physically impressive man tower has turned his attention back to the gates. He ignores your presence.
Right to work! Right!
新的一样。还有1分钟。
Hola, wandering man. How can I help you? Yeah, the janitor who gave me the key to his apartment said the guy's a bit of an asshole. Like I said before, I don't know much about this Elysium, but the bossman said he's a real piece of work. Los Ardis? They're an independent militant group. A bit too high-strung, but it comes with the responsibility. They're sort of like you. Preserve the rule of law and all that. Except it's Everard's law. But really, they're just like you.
Okay, cool.
Your race descent has temporarily halted, but you will fall. I am not the first line of defense.
You pick up on something artificial in his tone, like he's putting on an act. This is unlike him.
The hardy manlets are on the pay of the company. I answer to the union. Now leave me be. I must leave. Fine. Find out for yourself.
Interesting.
毒贩，那个女毒贩。
The already familiar cold touch of plastic welcomes you as you pick up the handset. The already familiar cold, the machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move. Your fingers run over the dial pad. 005. That's the dialing code for Revachol. 4952. Calling. Calling. Still calling.
Video Revachol, 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lamy. How may I help you?
The voice of a youngster on the other end sounds.
Video Revachol is a 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lamy. Sir, I don't know. It's a video rental. Maybe you rent videos here. No. Maybe you called to extend your rental period? Do you need to extend your rental period? Let me fire up the machine. Dubois. Here we are. You haven't read anything in 5 years, but you still have a copy of Blue Ocean Hell from November '46. Whoa, not a fun film, that one. It's not an easy watch. After the death of his daughter and subsequent divorce, Ziemsk immigrant Egidius Wojcik tries to come to terms with the onset of dementia. No wonder no one's been missing it. Still, it would be great if you could return it to us. We're on the corner of Voyager and Maine.
The call is terminated by the other party. You're left with the discomforting sound of the...
Get me. I'm not talking. Boah.
This is the Night Watchman. Before the cargo container. Its draw has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly.
Hey, mister, I'm not gonna bother you with a long greet.
Mr. Dubois, I hear that now. What can Everard Clare do for you today? What? Harry, how could you say that to me? You know I appreciate a joke as much as any jolly fat guy, but I...
The reaction appears to be sincere, but it's impossible to tell with this guy, honestly.
You've hurt me, Harry. Me, a friend. But you know what? I trust you, like I trust all my friends. and I know you'll never talk to me about this again.
He's hiding his real reaction beneath courtesy.
Thank you for your understanding.
You too, Lieutenant.
None taken. Do we have anything else to do here, Harry?
Oh, that's very nice. I haven't gotten around to her yet. One thing I want to make very clear, Harry, is that this is not some... We're all trying to do what's best for Martinez. Don't feel like you can't cooperate.
Whoa, that's so nice of him. Suspiciously nice.
I'm just a nice guy, Harry. I wouldn't be where I am now if I wasn't nice. Politics is all about emotions, and I want you to have positive emotions when you think of me.
Okay then, positive emotions it is. You like positive emotions.
It's perfectly okay. Even if you've told her everything we've talked about, it's absolutely fine. What do you mean, Harry? Nothing. I let him go. He's an old man, Harry. I wanted him to spend more time with his family. God knows how long he's got left. Harry! I have little people in my organization. I would never call someone a midget. What? Honestly, I'm beginning to think you're a midget, Harry. I'm only kidding, Harry. You're not a midget. No one is. We're vanished? Harry, the woman left her casserole in the oven and couldn't make it here in time for the voting. Oh, did I leave my casserole on? Better go home and check. The election can wait.
Wait, there was no mention of a casserole from Joyce.
Harry, Harry, Harry. Do not fixate on this little matter. Maybe it was a rabbit stew, or a hairdryer, or an iron. The point is, her heart wasn't in it. Mine was. Yes, yes. Low balling, of course. This isn't a casino, Harry. Real people, real livelihoods are at stake here.
His expression makes it clear. This is childish and irresponsible behavior.
If she actually wants to see me, she will find a way. Any good negotiator would. And
He doesn't want to see her. It's as simple as that.
Of course, Harry. Let me just assure you one more time. It's perfectly okay to share anything we discuss. I have no interest in what she is doing, but I myself have not. Tell her about all of it. My brother's picture, my singing swordfish clock. Tell her how overweight I am and how I'm helping you find your lost gun.
It is rather interesting to tell people things about each other, isn't it? It was nice telling him about her right now. The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito. There. Working class drunk. You know what this means, right? Cracked it. All in a good day's work. What do you mean, what did I crack? Look at how working class that drunk is. Yes, and you found him. Now go and tell the working class woman. Protect and serve, recruit. Didn't she repeatedly tell you her husband isn't missing though? There's no need for champagne.
God damn it, I already told you. My husband isn't missing. And I specifically added that I didn't need to know where he was. Very well then. Where is he? Excuse me? Right, 'cause working class will...
Remember, about that what. Never ever say what.
You were right. I do have an alcoholic husband.
Ha, blam. Knew it.
I did, and he is. He's also an alcoholic. No, he's not. Or maybe he is, I don't know. He's probably in the park, or in Shamrock somewhere. Drinking with his... I haven't seen him for... Well, to hell with him.
I wouldn't be so sure. Man, just to be completely clear.
Report what? He's just out drinking with his friends. I'm sure the police has better things to do than to...
She sighs, but...
All right, go ahead. Do you have any questions? Honestly, not that different from you. Oh, thank God, no. It hasn't come down to this yet. Well, he's slight. What else? He was wearing a dark brown leather jacket with a bright blue inner lining. The lining is hand-sewn. I made it myself. It's his cool jacket. God knows it's too cold to run around in this, but he refuses to change.
Who cares about the cold when you have your cool jacket to wear? You can completely sympathize.
I even tried throwing it away once, but he just dug it out of the bin. Can you believe it? Well, what can you do? I hope that at least that extra lining helps him keep warm at night. I wouldn't like him to catch cold. Yesterday morning, he went to the library. He went to retrieve my book, and he promised he'd walk because we talked about this. We talked about...
Gone for around 36 hours then. Damn, this is a missing persons case. She turns away from you in an attempt to recover.
So you are going to look for him?
She genuinely wants you to know. Don't make her ask.
Thank you. Please do. Even though I'm sure he will return home by himself.
I'm sure he will too.
I will. Of course, officer. As I said, it's probably nothing. Right. What about him?
She gives you a short nod before...
Officer, the mere sight of police in Martinez makes me feel safer. Sure, officer. They are the good guys. No, thank you. For being consummate professionals. You'll have this case wrapped up in no time.
A man so principled about his sandwich calls for a principle.
The purity of snow always reminds me of the purity of a man's soul, if he's got principles. Ah, yes!
Oh, absolutely. At the mercy of a cocaine-snorting tyrant who...
Cocaine? Cocaine? Sounds like our kind of...
A superpower, feared and respected. A testament to what's...
Oh, old Philip was a big fan of the purple nose candy.
You can't even take... That's why the Philippian...
I'm satisfied with this.
Of course.
Philippe Zitter was even brought into this world with the help of cocaine. The court made it...
He's just making excuses for the king's habits, isn't he?
Please, officer, don't encourage him.
Yes, indeed.
But imagine, purest cocaine.
Decisively, without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something the insurgents never understood. A nation is only a strong...
Don't get stuck.
The carabinier doesn't reply.
Oh,
you can't even... That's why
I'm satisfied.
Of course.
Philippe Zitter.
He's just making excuses.
Please, officer.
Yes,
But imagine...
Decisively, a nation is... Decisively, Revachol would...
Don't get...
The carabinier doesn't reply.
Decisively, without fear of offending the sensibilities of the... You haven't lived...
And the worst part of...
The carabinier doesn't...
Oh, hold...
You can't even take... That's why the Philippi...
I'm satisfied.
of course.
Philippe Zitter was...
He's just making excuses for the king's habits, isn't he?
From what I've seen of the officers of...
Oh, hold...
You can't even take... That...
I'm set.
Of course.
Philippe Zitter.
He's just making excuses.
Please, officer.
Yes,
But imagine, purest cocaine.
Right.
哎呀，不能后悔。把球丢掉了。
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Word has traveled, yes, but nothing of real substance has surfaced yet, I gather.
One of the tall buildings overlooking the ramp.
it appears we are being monitored every step we take, colleague. Did we have any other business here?
More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything. We're in Martinez. A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd.
She refers to your...
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. For I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before. This place used to be a province. A workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its work. The reeds are the real star. It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. Yes, we're on an island in an ocean. The world's largest...
Known to the early Revacholians as...
Caillou. as you already know. Imagine a pebble. A smooth dough.
It is clear this pebble is and to humanity at large.
Revachol? The great kind. History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part, the nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and in the DeLorean century. 308. They say it's where the terrible question. By that I mean, we are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean. I think it's fair to say so.
A sparkle of lights on the horizon.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The
silence, the water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time.
We are where we are. I have no truer answer to give, unfortunately. Was there something else you wanted to know?
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. Might I suggest not ask?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
That is understandable, but perhaps it's better not to eat all your candy at once.
Indeed. I'm always at your service. These are unimportant times, Detective. For the big time, the revolution. It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next. Who gets shot in the head? Why, of course. We're talking Duke out Central. Full swing in... No. I would say the apes were neutral. On the other hand, maybe you're right. Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million... Oh, and the anarchists, too. They shot them well. So, did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Yeah, it was a curse.
Yes. The Insulindian deluge, they call it. Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad. Yes, King Guillaume had a nose for bad PR. He ran before it. What is the expression? Went down. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully... The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything. Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended.
We? She's one of them. Of course.
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights. The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, the moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way, at least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol. This is their zone.
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not.
Of course.
Rooty tooty, pointy shooty.
That's the way of history. The turn of the century revolution? The revolution began in '02. It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat. A particularly virulent... From Revachol and Grad? Not far. Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control. A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting inter... The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication.
51 minus 8 equals...
Time flies. The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. 08 to 19 was simply hell. The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere. Yes, and quantitative easing. It was a market mirage, unfortunately. The 40s dispelled it. An Isla-wide hangover, you might say. So, here we are. Welcome to reality, baby.
For her to be where she is, Wild Pines Group must have picked the right side.
这个点数。
They picked the winning side. That's why they're here, and others are not. Perhaps it wouldn't have turned out that way had I been in charge. I might have bet on the king and let the... I would have sided with the cannons. If you'd seen the calibers of the things, 10 of the 14 Indo tribes got it wrong. Feld, Kupri, Tricentennial. So I suppose I would have been in good company. Good question. What would you have done differently? And I asked you. Past less to tech. So a quarter of humanity simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prion, a complex folding protein, unlife, with the technology 50 years ago? Good hygiene. Really. A very moderate solution to an extreme problem. It's those sort of half... When they failed to step up, Marzov and his party... And what is your official position, Lieutenant?
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone the same way. I was saved by being too...
Understandable. They are what they are. Anyway.
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
I am the vilest of the vile. I am an ultra.
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking.
An ultra-liberal. It's a type of liberal. From the revolution. It's, not the moderate kind. Haven't you heard? I am a nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. I can see you thought I'd...
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth. Forgive her. But only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes.
I do hope so. I hope we're able to remain collegial when the dust settled, the Liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, with due respect to our overlords, I would not have relinquished sovereignty.
She realizes her...
Then for my daughters, we had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it. Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. Now, shall we return to reality? A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions? Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games. Ah. This or two. A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. This one used to be mostly the urban middle class side.
Splat, splat.
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the...
Wonderful. Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know.
The 15th Indo tribe. This door is made of metal and appears to be number 28.
Let's see if anyone's home.
No one answers.
Looks like the young man we are looking for isn't home. I think our best chance to catch him is in the... We should return tomorrow after we have finished with our day's work. How about 9 p.m.? Sound good?
Okay.
The smoker on the balcony. This is why we're here.
Don't worry. It's mostly all still here. You can remember things. You got this.
Tomorrow, 9 p.m., right here.
Damn. Turns out it's quite... Remember. Tomorrow, no one on.
We should return tomorrow.
就是明天。
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural? Ooh. Not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret.
She does have eyes that seem to be smeared with coal.
Yes. I keep hoping a shaft will collapse on me, but somehow it never happens. Does anyone in a city like this? It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does. Like, shoot, Piggy. It's what you do, isn't it? Hello again, officers. Have you come to a...
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. You have no clue. It's just a wall.
刷几率的游戏。
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. You have no clue.
啊，玩个4、5次吧。
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see. Because this is no ordinary wall. It is sublime. Look at it. The shadows, the colors. All the other walls on all the other houses must make... Oh, Wallfather. Huh? He sounds tired of it all. Cindy the Skull has all the necessary materials. Talk to her.
Mm-hmm. Sure. If you must.
涂鸦。
Hello again, officers. Have you come? What for? Well, if it's for art. But what kind of art are we talking about? Then you have time to find your own fucking brush. There, Piggy. I guess art just isn't really you. 'Cause you suck in life and in everything.
哇嘞！暗示要怎么弄？
Hello again, officers. What for? What do you think I'm trying to paint here? A mural for a better tomorrow? But boring. I ain't helping no pigs fool. Well, if it's for art. But what kind of art are we talking about? Let me stop you right there, Piggy. You have no idea, do you? No idea. No brush? Fuck off. Yeah, not gonna hold my breath, Piggy. You look like you'd suck. Everything really.
自立。
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
抽个烟吧。
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
They do say the painter always...
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire? That's pretty fucked up. Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire? That's pretty fucked up.
有那么难吗？3次了欸。
Hello again, officers. Have you come to
They do say that...
Hello again, officers. Have you come to...
You don't have the skills to execute something like this in practice. But, oh boy, the idea's going to blow her fucking mind. She squints her eyes.
On fire. I say, sod off. You don't have the technical skills to do that. I like your idea. Should have thought of it myself. I don't need this kind of competition in my neighborhood. Then get your brush from fucking art.
Oops, my apologies. I guess I was trying too hard. You're a police officer and a grown-up. Why are you trying to impress her? Maybe try a different approach.
Ooh, police brutality. That's the good stuff. Have you got any kids? Because you but fine, take the brush. I'm all out of fuel oil anyway.
You know what you should be able to find in your government-issued vehicle? Red-dyed heavy fuel oil. That beautiful wall deserves nothing less.
My fuel oil is for my kinema. Use your own fuel if you are unable to contain your artistic impulses, but...
Yeah. 맞아.
Whoa, what have we here? A bridge with loose nails and rot-infested wood that creaks in the wind. A construction code violation if there ever was one.
Sure, they never cleaned up the bridge is fine enough. Locals use it all the time, after all. It's...
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft. As you tap on the gauge, the indicator pin.
No, that's enough fun with the foldable headlights. I know they are mesmerizing. They are also fragile. I'm not going to turn it on for you again.
啊，不给我蓝叶。啊，老师。免费。跳绳。雾灯了。战雕像。
gold monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, even by the standards of the Philippian. Well, he blew through the whole his own maladministration for Stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure. He called it the Sol Auron. It was obscene. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers, like some obese dragon, instead of a bed, like a normal one. But wait, you haven't even heard about his fabled cocaine addiction. You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury on gold and ceremonial weaponry. Not just any nose candy, though. We're talking Royal Philippian blow, allegedly twice as potent as the stuff you find now. Cocaine. His Majesty's courtiers said it helped him connect with the higher realms. That's what the revolutionaries said 150 years beneath the cold waters of the Insulin. The original was blown apart by communards, then further damaged during the landing of the coalition's airships during the turn-of-the-century revolution. Most historians think the coalition's hasty landing some years ago, a group of... The statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time, a rare butterfly. People in Martinaise tend to disagree. Those critics might have it wrong, though. There's more to it than Philip III, the squanderer, however, with his bronze not that he ever did in life either. A silver as you look up, you know.
Yeah. 所以小说，对。
I like playing in the dark. Sharpens your nocturnal instincts. Feels like being on recon again. Yes, the Debardeurs Union pays me to... I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and... money is tight. She... is nobody.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave. It's a private matter.
You see, officer, René is the kind of man would...
I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. No one. The bus has been unmanned.
No one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday.
Yes. It's...
Look, officer. The container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him.
The possibility of someone being in there is enough.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabineers' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated Kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
Can we conclude the topic of my guard booth now? Yes. Like I said, it would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
变28了。变28就能甩啊！
I like playing in the dark. Sharpens your nocturnal instinct.
All you observe
I like playing in the dark. Sharpens your nocturnal
As Rene turns from you to his partner and back, the medals on his chest rattle and glare. 2. The larger one is shaped like a cross, while the smaller medal resembles the sun. A crowned head in front of 2 cross. It's the Croix de Bravoure, Cross of Valor. The cross was the heart, a small blue star inside an orange sun. It has the word Valiant written below. The setting sun was a decoration used to distinguish seasoned combat veterans in service of King Frizzle I during the Revolution.
For bravery. For doing my duty in the heat of battle. For looking my mortality in the eye.
He saved some muddy princeling who foolishly strolled into the front line in his gown of velvet and gold.
It was on the first months of the revolution here in Revachol. Unrest was spreading like wildfire. Marauders had taken most of the Couronne and were getting really ambitious. King Frizzle thought he could end it all in one decisive strike. Alas, the young Drisson was all piss and no vinegar, wearing a tunic of purple velvet and cockatiel feathers to battle. Even his rifle was gold-plated.
He really despises that Drisson.
Purple velvet tunic. That isn't exactly camo.
To keep the long and bloody story short, Drisson marched us against the partisans in Couronne. The rebels were smart. They let us come real close before opening fire. Suffice to say, it was carnage. I got shot in the left shoulder and went down. Just a flesh wound. But just as I turned over, then his horse, driven mad by the noise and smell of gunpowder, stepped on my leg and shattered my knee. I grabbed my sidearm and shot the beast in the head. Then
Capitaine Arnoux.
The bane of horses.
When I came to, it was all over. It was just me and Jolles Tresson, gurgling in the blood-soaked mud right next to me. The Dink had taken numerous flesh wounds and lost a lot of blood. But despite missing his jaw, he seemed hesitant to die. Tougher than he looked, that one. So I grabbed the Dink and started crawling. Kept going until the 59th Cavalry picked us up. Through some miracle, we both survived. And the Jolles convinced Frizzle to give me a medal for not leaving. He was the commanding officer and I was on duty. Just doing my job. Shouldn't hand out medals for that.
You sense he's downplaying it. He did a lot more than his duty. More than anyone's duty. It's in his spine, in his billowing breasts, and untarnished self-worth.
Because he was a goddamn dandy. Had no business leading men or even being. Royal blood alone doesn't make army commanders. He was a...
Whoa, man-loving. Is that even a word? It is not. The old carabinier stands quietly like a...
What Monseigneur Modesty is not telling you is that he crawled up, and that even while crawling with a mangled half-dead prince on his back, he's...
Is that pride in his voice? It's deep down, but maybe even unbeknownst to the man himself, it's there.
Sorry, officer, but you're reading me all wrong. I'm a man of peace, and this kinds of... How did you find the story to be, officer? Maybe, but also bear in mind, officer. They don't... Oh no, you have to get...
Do not speak of what you know nothing about, Poltroon. Duty is something you... Bah! There were many such stories in those...
Oh, yes, René, yes.
I'm not!
You should try to come up with a heroic story of your own. Impress this old soldier.
17。故弄玄虚。没有。
Officer, the mere sight of police in Martinez makes me feel safer already. How can I help you? Oh, sweet Jenny. She was the finest woman in all of Revachol. Maybe the entire world.
Do not defile her memory, Gaston. Let her rest in peace.
We knew her, all right. Lived on the same street our entire lives, just 2 houses apart. The 3 of us have been best friends since we were 4. She was René's first girl, back when the prick was 16. They were courting till he decided he'd rather...
And then you stole her from me.
Oh, officer. It already got ugly nearly 80 years ago when the 3 of us were just...
You stole her from me.
Well, technically, you stole her from me, because we'd been pretty close ever since you two had...
We were just boys then. This was no point starting this all over again.
She died of pneumonia 2 winters ago. René and I were both by her bedside when...
Died. No use sugarcoating it. Won't bring her back.
Departed. Until the very end she couldn't decide between us. The most indecisive woman I've ever met. She could never make up her mind about anything. Well, she was always leaving one of us for the other, but never long enough to actually get married. Heck, technically, we're both still engaged to her.
You always confused her. Couldn't let us be happy. Seduced her with your fancy words and...
He suddenly remembers you are...
Of course, officer. Memories are all we have left. Sure, officer. They are the good guys around. No, thank you. For being sweet, sweet Jenny. Of course, officer. Memory...
Sight.
Officer, the mere sight of police...
All right, this is how we're gonna do it.
电狱。
Like what, officer? This is as good as they come in Revachol, I assure you.
An array of delicious recipes flashes through your mind. This calls for an engineering angle. Structural rigidity, exposed rafters, lattice works, that type of approach.
That would certainly have been an improvement.
Beautiful. Now bring it home with paprika.
Ce serait délicieux! Can you make that sandwich, officer? I hope you are not just tricking an old man out of the little he has left. Okay.
He looks worried.
Is there anything I can do for you right now? Maybe to speed the whole process up?
哦，骗到三明治啊！啊，互动。
The ham sandwich looks fresh and nutritious in your hand, begging to be eaten.
至少去旁边吃吧。
The ham sandwich looks fresh and nutritious in your hand.
I'll pass. Thanks. I mean, I'm not hungry, and therefore am not gonna take it. Camaraderie? Is it really necessary? Then sure, let us strengthen our bond. Sure. Time to go solve a murder investigation.
还两无啊？哎。OK。
row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A little ring. There's something. It looks like the artist is celebrating dive. Of course, the lieutenant.
I'm beginning to feel better about breaking into this man.
So.
An old called East Delta Commerce Center. This must be the.
And yeah.
The tracks are as they have ever been. A bit more worn, perhaps. Fortunately,
That's plausible. A similar reckless abandon seems to be in evidence.
An old East Delta Commerce Center, an off-key.
Kuno, please stop calling here. Grown-ups don't have time for your stupid games.
She thinks you're the gremlin child. What would he say to this?
Oh, I'm sorry, officer. I thought you were... But the doorbell is broken, and the bookstore shouldn't even be on the list anymore.
A single beep indicates that the line has gone. You ring the doorbell. What an ominous name for a hair salon. All you hear is static, but no one answers. You ring the doorbell, but you wait for a minute or two. But all you... Looks like someone has melted half the You hear static. You can almost hear them breathe.
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric.
She sounds almost antique. As if her... Wait, but what happened to Slipstream SCA? There's no Tricentennial Electrics on the list.
My...
The lieutenant exchanged.
It's you. My God. I didn't think I would...
It's a woman. She must be mistaking you for... Who cares that you don't remember her? Just go along with it.
Michelle, just please. Why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone for months. I thought you didn't care. Ever since I came to live here, it's been different. As if my mind's been wiped clean.
A spot of static overrides her words. When she speaks again, it sounds like she's...
It's so nice. It's so nice to be able to finally again.
She sounds like she's about to cry. She doesn't answer. Silence. The only thing you can hear now is static and waves washing ashore on the bay. Another sea.
I don't know what happened either. We should probably stop playing with this thing.
You press the number sign on the keypad that terminates the call. 12 name cards on the call box read. East Delta Commerce Center? This must be the name. Whatever she says, it can't hurt you. You're a different person now. Stronger. Help. All right. Maybe not. There's a light buzz as you press the doorbell. Wait. There's the static again.
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric. Have you come?
Here come the bad vibes again. Relax. Distance yourself from it.
It's you.
Wait. Is she...
Michelle, just please. Why did you even call? I don't understand.
Is this some kind of joke? The voice from the intercom doesn't answer, but you can hear her breathing. Wind blows into your microphone.
Ever since I came, as if my mind's been...
And then it hits you. She tries again not to cry, and still doesn't succeed completely. Her quiet sobs, her sound melts into the static. This is where you hung up the call the last time. A phone rings in the office with an old-fashioned chime, and someone walks by in a pair of heels. No one replies, but the static, her words are too cold to comprehend. She smells of sodium.
So, it was a recording trapped in the circuitry from some ancient tenant. This sometimes happens. Shall we conclude here? We have... I don't have time to explain it to you right now. Maybe... Don't take this the wrong way, but...
That is true. An old East Delta Commerce Center. This silence. No one's home at Fortress. Silence. No one answers the doorbell. Silence. No one answers your call. This button looks new.
Huh. This button looks new. It's probably not connected yet.
到第3天。是。看着没啥事了，买些闲钱去借东西吧。
See rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets. The boomboxes wait on the shelves, and your boombox, that gold and amber. A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted...
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything. Traffic? I'm sorry, officer, but I don't drive. Now that I think about it, I do remember hearing a thunderous noise the other night.
That sure narrows down our list of suspects.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. I didn't really know what to make of it, but I know traffic. I'm sorry, officer. I just don't like it very. Now that I think about it,
That sure narrows down our list of suspects.
He shakes his head, slowly.
You keep coming back. That's good, officer. Keep browsing those clothes, keep saving that economy.
The speakers below are banged up and worthless. The
The shine on these sunglasses lasts a lifetime, officer. 100. You keep coming back. That's good, officer. Gotta prepare for springtime, right?
You find the box.
Economical, but also. The shine on these sunglasses, a man who knows his style.
Stuck in the rain in a traffic jam, man. What's on your mind? I don't want to talk about that. Man, I was hoping it isn't going to be her. All I can say is, she isn't around here anymore. She isn't some evil drug trafficker. Thank God I don't know. People here call her the Lady Driver. She kept her name a secret. From me, too. Now I see why. I didn't, man. I told you I was
It's true. We would of course lie. But a kind heart, bah. Emotional rhetoric. He knew something and he didn't share it with you. That's a fact.
我要听哪一个？
A friend? An acquaintance? I don't know. She was the only person in this damn jam I could talk to. She's someone I don't want to rat out to the law, okay? A youngish woman. Gruff, but in a cool way.
What color hair?
Blue and violet. Died. It was violet when she got here. Blue before she went.
Then she may have dyed it again.
Damn, I don't want to... Please just let it go. Whatever she did...
We can't just let it go.
That's how it always is with you, isn't it? All part of the investigation. Look,
it won't come to that.
I don't believe you. She's got the darkness in her. That young person's darkness when you think it's all over. And you're looking for a way out.
She shared this with...
Yes. Which is why I don't want to snitch on her. It's snitching, man. I know what it is. I heard the rumors. I saw the other drivers looking at me strange when we talked. And she told me, too, that she's had a violent life. But I wasn't afraid of her. More like for her.
Did this violent life include drug trafficking?
Well, it looks like it did now. But we didn't talk about that. We talked about life, you know? She talked about her mind, the way it worked, the trouble it was giving her. Fuck, man. Go grill someone else with these questions, okay? There are plenty of drivers here who couldn't stand her, or were a...
He's right. There are other options. The race... Wait, this guy says they're friends, then acquaintances, and he's okay with others ratting her out?
Fine. I don't want to be a butcher. And I don't want to be a knight either. I just want to be a person who can sleep at night. A little fame wouldn't hurt too. You're not going to put a bullet in your head if you blow it, are you? Because she's on the edge, man. I thought you were a different kind of cop. Here.
The keys to a motor lorry. Pretty complex. Looks like a chain lock.
Her lorry's still here. Down past the statue of Philippe. The cabin is green. You can get in there with these. That's all I know.
When did she leave?
Last Friday. No. I don't know. She left them to me. Because she trusted me. So I can get it out of the way when the jam breaks loose. Otherwise...
The other drivers would have to tow it or break in to get the machines moving.
If they break in, they would find what's hidden inside. Something incriminating.
I bet you are. Nah. I need to think my own thoughts.
线索。预测车。哦呀。
This screen found, A to Z, Contemporain, is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead.
This is the one our men pointed to.
The glass on the side windows is tinted and covered with... The door is locked. There's no picking this lock. The owner... You push the key into the lock and turn. The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered. There's something odd about the passenger seat. These are movie posters. One of them particularly catches. There's definitely perfume in the air. It's spicy, with a hint of the remnants of a sweet juniper-scented perfume. Probably, the actress is draped in a sheath dress. Wait, doesn't she resemble someone you know? This is Tijon, a starlet from the dawn. She wasted away in a drug den called the Door to the River, not far from here, on Boogie Street. A mixture of cocaine and morphine. The actress is draped in a sheath. Wait, she wasted away in a drug. The actresses and the rear looks like the freak.
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least. No, that's on 78.9. What? I happen to have committed the frequency to memory. I have no problem for contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example. This looks like we are dealing with an impressive...
A 20-kilometer radius at least.
Doesn't look like it. It's completely inoperable without a...
The ghostly actresses and the rusty toolbox. You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. But one odd detail. Sandpaper adds extra grip.
Sandpaper? A novel technique? Yes? Which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching. Looks like her, yes. Now we know for certain who is the missing 8th person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardy and his boys could also be involved in the drug operation? Understood. We should still go and see what Titus has got to say on the matter. Are we finished with the lorry?
The movie stars are still smiling from the walls. Voila, a stack.
Bonne prise.
This large map displays the toll booths at the intakes. This municipal map from the 30s displays a complex system. The final map displays a labyrinth of service tunnels left over. These service tunnels were probably used. Looks like the smugglers have infiltrated.
So it would seem. The RCM patrols most of these auxiliary roads, though hard to say. This distribution network looks certainly large, yet still vague enough. The Besmerti is a Revacholian crime syndicate. They see themselves as the inheritors of the... with cool names, like La Puta Madre, and it's definitely not the Union. They just do some logistics. This operation has spread every... Here's bad news. They have... Best not to disturb the scene.
The stack of maps looks just like a metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's an issue of Petty Fair. It looks like an article ripped out.
The Ulan frequency system? I've never heard of...
The pull-out toolbox slides back into its... It closed the rust.
Great. I think we got everything. A word, detective? Before we return to Joyce?
Okay, so...
Revacholian nationhood.
酒精加二体，也不错啊。
All right. We've finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found. So we don't... Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. The evidence seems to point to a rather extensive and well-organized operation. I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter, particularly the sheer number of stations it can connect. Looks like this alleged drug trade casts a wide net.
This means it's well-funded. Technology like that, a major player must be financing it.
I'm not sure what the Ulan frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps it's a better way to connect between fleets while avoiding frequency bleed, or maybe it's used to tap into RCM networks. Oh, and the maps we found. They reveal the geographical extent of the operation. And last but not least, it looks like the Hardy Boys knew this driver, as we know that she was present at the lynching. This may be the Union connection we've been searching for. As elegant as they are.
Don't be fooled. Desire always plays a role.
Yes, well... Like Joyce told us, yes, logistically. But don't expect to bust this open during our stay here.
Meaning, someone as slippery as Everard won't be caught by a couple of cops and some stuff they found in some...
We should return to the murder case. See what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we are done for the day, I call my station and suggest our narcotics department look into it. There are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation. Sometime later, when we are done here. We do not want to get caught. The fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. Especially if the Madrid grouping is involved. All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. Debrief over.
场都唔會嘅。Outside.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered? It doesn't really matter. And
One of the tall buildings overlooking the roundabout.
in any case, it's a relief to know someone has...
If there is any...
Of course, detectives. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands. Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivershoal West.
Since you are sharing, man, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario.
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be. I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail. They were dispatched after I relayed the...
Every worker...
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric, or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor. Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Who are they, exactly?
Crenell, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night. Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now. It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
要战了。
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants. It was the Union who strung him from that tree. My hope is that you provide a single concrete suspect before Crenell indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good, and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
The Debardeurs have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty.
The Serai's giant hornet, the world's second largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees a minute, while a group of 30 can decimate an entire hive of 20,000 bees in...
These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons.
The muzzle loaders need to be reloaded after every 1 or 2 shots. The automatics every 1 or...
As I said, a bloodbath. Many bleak scenarios have already come true. Nameless, badgeless detective of the city. All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation. Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman Lorentz.
Meaning they're used to...
Yes. All the good conflict corridors. Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminese Islands. Countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military... I wouldn't go as far as to use that term, detective.
It's the expression she objects to?
Yes.
She picked a strange hill to die on. Strike. She's silent.
What is the purpose of this, detective?
Paramilitary death squad is a bit rich. But yes, were it up to me, I would have at least vetted them more thoroughly. Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, if you still have access to the ICP's database, you could...
The International Collaboration Police, ICP, is charged.
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RC?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenell. I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
She's being truthful. She is pressing them as hard as she can.
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it. That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story.
The lieutenant consults his...
Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection...
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometimes... That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor. About a rumor. In any case, it's what the Colonel's remaining colleagues believe. If you mean did I see him alive? Yes. Lely, his service name. A nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one. He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on...
What else? Nationality?
He was, Occidental, I think. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it. Through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once. If you mean did I... Lely. One is a man. Corty, they call him. A nickname as well. The other a woman. Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
What would you say was his eye color? The deceased.
She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man.
I can't remember.
The lieutenant was testing her, asking a small...
That's all right, man.
He was 40. Or 50.
What else?
He was, Occidental. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it. Through the... They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth.
升级地球。
They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes, ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
Did you miss the part about ceramic armor and automatic weapons, Detective?
That is a bad idea, one I won't be a party to.
One is obviously the scab leader at the harbor gates. The one chanting the idiotic slogans, he's barely maintaining his disguise. The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest.
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gate is a powder keg.
Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant. But my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union?
Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace.
That would afford a good vantage point. In any case, it's practically inaccessible.
会是那个给隔壁那个女的吧？一开始那个女。
Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask? Do you have an earpiece?
Heavens no. I'm not an undercover agent. There's a shortwave at the ship's wheel. I hope I can answer it better. Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob and their impatience.
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative. It's a matter of days, not weeks. I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask. Of course, Detective. You can all...
更新好多情况。3点，探美这个经验值。他们还在吗？再早一点嘛。 哇，还在啊！这一块很容易累。那先休息啊。